Hello, all you YouTube subscribers. Nice to see you. Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello and welcome to another edition of Hippie Christmas, or not Hippie Christmas, that's Friday. Sorry, Wednesdays with MrTieDye. I'm gone for a couple days and I forget how to do my show. Let me get a drink of water. So, I know some of you guys are still watching the commercials, so right now we're just going to kind of do a shout out. Let's see who's in the house today. So, let me turn my volume down. I'm getting some feedback here. Remember, I live in the future. Okay, so we got Brad and Louise, uniquely yours. And I can't quite read that name. Nessiah Shohat. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Debbie in Louisiana. Alyssa, April, Alan, Heather, Rodna, Marcia, Pam, Mayla, Becky, Travel Jojo, Marissa. Of course, Julie's in the house. I'm sure my mom's in the house. Hello, Mom. It was good to see you this weekend. Let's see. Barbara, Eric, Laura, Emily, Dwayne, Ara, Danny, Anuzo, SCM, Sarah from California, Ty Grace, Cody, Colleen. Nice to see everybody. Thank you for joining me. Oh, we already have a new member sign up. So speaking of new members, first off, we're going to thank Ara for signing up. I appreciate it. Namaste. I am so grateful for all the support. And in the last week, we had Darla, Mary, Brian, Carrie, Nana, Geisha, and C. Snow sign up to be new members. So thank you. I appreciate it. And then we had a donation from Derek this week. So thank you, thank you. I am so grateful for all the support. It allows me to do more of these videos. And I'm getting real close to being done with my custom orders. So I will be starting on some new videos soon, ones that I make and upload, and they'll be the more detailed ones. So looks like I lowered my chair so my thing keeps bumping here. Oh, we got somebody in the house from Jose from Brazil. Hello. How to be a member. You can click right below the video. There's a button that says join, and then you just select what level member you want to become, and you enter your payment details, and voila, you're a member. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so today I'm going to do rainbow circles. This was something that I first saw a meme that had this little image on there. Oh, and we got another member. So thank you, Danielle, for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Namaste. I am grateful. So for today's, like I say, I saw a meme that had this little image on it. And then from this image, we got another member. Tia, thank you for signing up. I appreciate it so much. And then when I was doing my meditation last night, because as you all know, I was out of town on vacation for the weekend. So got back in, and last night, or maybe even this morning, anyways, I was doing a meditation and I saw this image and it reminded me of the meme, but it was these two rainbow circles. So I decided I wanted to create that with tie-dye. So that's what we're going to do today, is rainbow circles. So I have a tapestry that's been soaked in soda ash. It's been spun out so it's just barely damp, and then I folded it in half. So this here is the center line. I folded it in half again just so I could get the exact center, and then from that exact center I went ahead and already drew my outer line on, just because I don't have enough space to do it here. As you can see, you only see part of this circle here, but this circle goes all the way over to this other edge here. So we got a full half circle on here, and I'm going to draw one more smaller one here in the center. That one we can do on camera because it's smaller. So the best, or not the best way, but the way that I prefer to do circles and things is just tie a string. I just do a little slip knot and tie a string onto one of my washable markers. And then from my center point, like I say, I folded this tapestry in half and then in quarters. Oh, it looks like we have another new member. Did I just say this? Heather? Thank you and welcome to my channel membership. I appreciate it. So you put your mark down here on the center point, and then you just stretch your string out however big you want your circle. Like I said, I want this one here quite a bit smaller. I want to have a small circle inside a big circle. So I kind of made a little mark out here how big I want this. So then I just trace my line on. And the main thing when you're drawing the circle is just try to keep your pen straight up and down. If you tip it, then the circle is going to go a little bit wonky on you. Oh, we got another new member, Anuzo95. Thank you, thank you. So today is a good day for memberships. I appreciate it. The support just really helps me keep building my channel up, doing new videos and stuff, because it does allow me to not take on custom orders. And not that custom orders are a bad thing. I do like doing those, but this summer is going to be about just creating the things that I want to do and also creating more video content for my channel for all of you. So that's what we're going to focus on this summer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pleat this small circle first, tie it off, and then we're going to pleat the bigger one here, and then we'll get on to dyeing these. So I'm just going to do just regular little pleats here. These ones, since I'm doing just a small circle here, these ones are probably about a ½ inch tall. This one here I'll probably go up to about 3/4 of an inch or a full inch. So, and I see some questions are coming in the comment section here. While I'm doing the tutorial, I'm not going to be answering, every now and then I might be able to answer a quick question. But one of the things that makes questions easier for me to see, if you're directing the question at me, then if you put it in all caps, then I can see it. Or Julie, she's sitting in the back room and she's doing some other projects back there, but she's also watching the video and she tries to keep up in the chat a little bit. But the full caps will help us spot the questions that are meant for me. But you're welcome to ask questions and maybe somebody in the chat room can answer it for you. But once we're all done with the tie-dye portion, then I will do the Q&A session on here. But like I say, every now and then I kind of see a question pop up and it's one that I could quickly answer, so I do. So you just have to roll with me. Okay, so we're just pleating this up. I just try to keep my pleats lined up as straight as possible here on top, and I also try to make them all about the same size. And like I say, the rest of this here I'll straighten out later, but the main thing I focus on is just my pleats while I'm doing that. And I usually will just kind of have this out flat as much as I can, and then I just kind of pinch up another piece here. And I've just had a lot of practice, so I can kind of judge how much fabric to pick up or how far out I need to pinch. And with time and practice, that'll come easier to you also. All right. So we're just about done with the small circle. So we'll get this tied up. I like to use kite string to tie mine, but any method of tying that you like to do is perfectly fine. If you use rubber bands or you use zip ties, however you tie it up it works fine. The main thing is just that it gets banded in place in some fashion. And like I say, for me, kite string is what works really nice. Oh, Dandelion Sunshine just signed up to be a new member of my channel. Thank you, Dandelion. I am grateful for your support. Okay, so let's get this tied off, and then I'm going to tie up just one more section, how wide I want to make the circle. Because like I say, we're doing rainbow circles. But we're not going to do big round ones. We're going to do circles, the rainbow within here. So I'm going to dye little portions of this in different colors going this way, so that the circle then will come out. So as the circle comes around, we're going to have sections of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, you know, as it goes around the circle. And instead of having circles of color like this going out. So you'll see that when I get ready to do the dyeing portion. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do here is I'm just straightening out some of these pleats, and then I'm going to tie another section off here. And that's just how wide my circle is going to be. So I'm making this, oh, maybe about 2 inches, maybe a little bit more than 2 inches wide. Okay, oh, it looks like we have another new member. Emily has just signed up. Thank you, Emily. I am grateful for your support. Like I say, the more support I get, the more of these videos that I can do. Well, up to a certain point. I mean, there's still only 24 hours in the day. But I appreciate all of the support that I get, whether it comes in through memberships or donations, or even just people watching the ads on here. That's just another way that you can support the channel without spending any money. Is just spend a little bit of time and let the ads roll. If you share the videos, that helps my channel grow. So lots of ways to support me, and you can just be here just to watch and learn and have some fun. That's good too. Okay, so now we're going to pleat the bigger circle here. And like I say, this one here I'm going to do a little bit taller just because it's a much longer run than this one here. So I would say that I'm doing the pleats just about almost twice as tall as I did for the little small circle here. And that's just going to help me then when I tie it up that I'm not going to end up buckling my pleats up, which is something that can happen, and it can be quite frustrating if you've just spent 20 to 30 minutes pleating something and then it buckles on you. Although sometimes if you just let go and just slowly push them back down, you can sometimes save them, or at least save most of the pleats. I've done that before on guitar tees. Guitar usually has a really long run on it, and I get all done, I go to tie it and it buckles up on me, and I quickly just cut the string, straightened it out, fixed a couple, and I was able to save it. Okay, I'm just rambling now. We're just gonna keep going. Let me see, maybe I can answer a question if there's one just right here.
Material to use for tapestries buying in bulk.
I didn't quite hear her comment there. What was that?
To buy material in bulk for tapestries, what do you recommend?
I don't have a particular brand
Repeat the question.
that I recommend. Oh, somebody asked a question about buying fabric in bulk to use to make tapestries. The only fabric that I ever bought a lot of was from Dharma, because, well, that's where I got all my dyes and stuff, and I didn't know of any place else other than a fabric store. And to me, fabric stores were just too confused. You walk in, there's too many choices. So I bought from Dharma, but anything that's cotton or hemp is even nice. I know Bo Dorsey on Facebook, he makes his own tapestries, and he buys organic cotton and hemp blend. And I've dyed some of those, and they come out really nice. But anything cotton that has just a little bit of a weight to it, doesn't need to be real heavy weight, but at least needs to have a little bit of weight to it, is a nice thing. And you can cut that then to size and hem the edges or whatever you want to do. I used to do a lot of that, buying my fabric from Dharma, but once I found Sunshine Joy, it just became easier for me to buy my tapestries already made. They come with 2 salvage edges. They're nice and finished, and then 2 sewn edges and little hooks, corners, loops in the corners for hanging. So I've just started buying my blanks. I do still have some fabric left that I break out every now and then if somebody wants something specific in size. The other thing I have bought is flat sheets from Target online, and I buy the full or queen size, and I even bought the king size recently for somebody. So, all right, let me see if I can. Where does the glauber salt come into the process? If I use glauber salt, I mix that in with my dyes. That's something that's supposed to help improve the black dyes and supposed to help make turquoise brighter. And I know a lot of the blues and some of the greens have turquoise in them, so I would imagine that it improves the color on those also. So whenever I use the salt, the glauber salt, I will, although I don't buy glauber salt directly from Dharma, I buy it, a form of it on Amazon, and I can put a link in here later. But I buy the salt, and then I would mix 1 tablespoon into 16 ounces of dye. So I would just, when I put my water in, I put the salt in, I put my dye powder in, and then I blend it all up together. Let's see, how do I stop my dye from running between my pleats? I find my dye doesn't soak straight away, and instead runs up between the folds. Are you dyeing them dry, or is the fabric barely damp? Because I find that when I dye it dry, it wants to run more than soak in. So if that's the case, then what I do is I have a bottle with soda ash, and I will lightly spray the top, and then that helps my dye soak in. But the other part is, if I was dyeing something, I wouldn't dye right up next to the line. I dye back from it a little bit, so that if it does run some, that it doesn't run immediately right across the line. And once it usually starts soaking in, then you can kind of control it better, but it's sometimes a matter of applying the dye slower. And these bottles here have a nice fine metal tip on them. I found these on Amazon. They're 4-ounce bottles. I think they call them glue bottles. And the brand is Benecrete, something like that. I do have a link on a bunch of my different videos for those bottles. But if you just search on Amazon, I know they kind of go out of stock. I think just because so many people are watching my videos and then buying these bottles up. But they come back in stock again. So just keep checking back for them. Or somebody else told me that they have found a bottle similar, just not the same as mine, but it works just the same. Okay, you're dyeing them barely damp. Yeah, then it's going to be coming down to trying to apply your dye slower. And that way, like I say, these bottles here, they will help with that because you can apply smaller amounts of dye. When you have a bigger nozzle, you're applying more dye, and then it will run out. So you just need to slow down how fast you're adding the dye. So I hope that makes sense. And it does take practice just of putting them on, and you'll get kind of a feel for how the dyes flow the more that you do. Sometimes I do make it look easy, but that's mostly due to the fact that I've been doing it for 20 years and have tens of thousands of t-shirts and tapestries under my belt. Okay, so we got the big circle all pleated here. So now I'm getting it tied up, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down, straighten out a little bit, and add another tied line here so that we have a couple inches channel for our circle. Okay, so we're going to leave that sit. We're going to straighten some of these pleats out. So as I'm working and straightening, I'm kind of pulling on the fabric, but you want to make sure you don't pull too hard and pull your pleats out here. So I usually will kind of hold my hand right here. Mostly that's to hold this fabric in place, just so that as I do all this rustling around, I'm not pulling my circle folds out. But I just want to get a few more of these pleats to lay flat in here so that I can tie off another section for dyeing. Oh, it looks like Saucy's in the house today. Nice to see you. Oh, and let's see, we got a bunch more people now. Michelle and Cassie and Marissa. Uniquely yours. I don't know, I might have said some of these names before. Eric. So, how's everybody's weather doing? We have kind of a hot day up in the mid-80s, I believe. So we got the house all shut up, but the sun is shining out there, and we have all blue sky here in Oregon. Hello, Jewel. Nice to see you. I'm glad you were able to make it. Okay, and sometimes the pleats don't want to fold out right, so you just got to reach in there and pinch them and they will fall in line. But I think I'm about ready to tie my next line off. The pleats don't have to be exactly perfect. I just like to flatten them out just a little bit so that they're fairly even. But at some point, you just got to call it good, tie it up. So it looks like it's sunny in the central coast of California. That's nice. Yeah, good day to go to the beach. Alrighty. 9:52 in the UK. Oh yes. So you guys are up late. Thank you for joining us for these feeds, staying up late at night. When it starts at 9:30 and these run for 2 hours and you guys are up late. Luckily I've been getting these all done in 2 hours instead of the 3 hours like we used to do with the older format. So I'll get you guys back to bed early. Rain in England. Yeah, sorry about that. We'll send some of our sunshine your way. Okay, so now I have my 2 sections of my circle tied up here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just kind of scrunch all of my circles and tie them up. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave my string tied on here and just do some pleating or scrunching out here. So whenever I have a pleat like this, I usually will open that up a little bit and tuck some of my pleats in just to give me a little bit of that scrunch patterning right up next to there. You can't do them all just because of how big of a circle this was, but I like to open up a few of them and just kind of scrunch them in there. And then, like I say, after we get done dyeing this, then we'll be doing the auction and the question and answer. Let's see. Today I am tying up rainbow circles. So I tied up a small circle down here and a bigger circle here. We're going to dye these in rainbow colors and the rest of this in, I think, blue, violet, and black, just to give me a little bit of texturing there and make the rainbow pop out a little bit. So anyways, yes, we'll be doing the auction and question and answer. And the question and answer, it really does make it easier when you guys are directing the question at me if you put them in all caps. And that way it allows you to carry on conversations in the chat room with other people or ask questions from other people. But if you want to hear from me directly, putting it in all caps, then I can know that you're directing that at me. And either I can catch it or Julie can catch it. But once again, I also apologize if we miss your question. Sometimes I just don't see it because they've scrolled past too far, or I'll get behind and not scroll back far enough. So, but I will try to answer as many questions as I can once I get the dyeing done here. But like I say, sometimes I'm at a point where I can look up and answer a quick question here and there while I'm doing the tying. But the rest of the questions, if you can just save them for the end, then that just makes it easier. All right. Oh, thank you. Yes, Julie braids my beard for me. Especially in the summertime, it's nice because it gets this big beard off of my chest, and I always have to wear a tank top just to stay cool in the summertime. So having the big beard up off my chest is nice also. So she just braids it up for me. It takes about 10 minutes. She does, I think, a cornrow braid. So it braids it up really nice up here, start my face, come all the way down, and I love it. She just brings it all together under my chin. Alrighty, we're getting close here to start adding some dye. Oh, and speaking of having my beard braided under my chin, I used to, well, I still do it now and then, but a couple years ago I went in and did a tie-dye party at a school, And of course I showed up with my beard braided like I always do. Well, it happened to be in October that we were doing the tie-dye event at the school, and I learned later that one of the girls dressed up as MrTieDye for Halloween. So she took her long hair and she pulled it around the front and put a couple ponytails in right under her chin, and then wore her tie-dye shirt and said she was dressing up as MrTieDye. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyways, there's my stories. Okay, we're just about done here. Now wrap this back up, tie it off up here, and then we're going to break out some dye and get going here. Yes, I don't have pictures of it, but they did show me some pictures of her, and she did look really cute, all dressed up as MrTieDye. Alrighty. Now there is our rainbow circles. Like I say, we're gonna dye across here and right here. So we're gonna dye within these two channels here on the front and the back. But like I say, instead of laying our colors on this way, which would give me circles going out, we're going to lay our colors on this way, which is going to put our colors within the circle as it travels down, and it's going to change colors. So I say let's get some gloves on and we'll just get started putting some dye on this thing. Oh, hey Shannon, nice to see you. No problem. I just finished folding this up. I'm doing tie-dye circles on this one. So I tied up a small circle here and a larger circle here, and we're going to dye this in rainbow stripes within the panel here. So what I'm going to do is break out my colors here. Like I say, these little bottles here, I found them on Amazon. They're listed under glue bottles, and I think the name is Benecrete, but I can put a link into the description here after I'm done with the whole video. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see what's going on here. So I'm also going to do this opposite. So like I say, I'm going to put some fuchsia right here. And then I'm going to do fuchsia on this other side. So my circles are going to be opposite in the way that the colors flow. All right. Yeah, if your feed is behind, one of the things you can do, there's on the video itself, well, if I can get my cursor, if you put the cursor over top of it, you'll see the, pause button and stuff, but there's also a live thing on there. It should have a red dot to it. If there's no red dot next to the live, you can click that and that'll bring you up to current. But otherwise, you might be running just a few seconds behind, probably because of the ads at the beginning. So click the live button on the video itself and that should bring you up to current. Okay, and on this one here, I think I kind of used too much dye and didn't leave myself enough room. So on this one here, I'm not going to put the green on here. I'm just going to put turquoise and let it mix with my yellow to make green. But on the other side, I think I have enough space here. So we're going to put green on this one. And you'll see about the turquoise here in just a minute. I just didn't leave myself enough space because of the narrowness there. I didn't judge it correctly. So, like I say, we'll just put a strip of turquoise right there. And it'll mix and make its own green with the yellow. And that way we have the full rainbow in there. All right, and then the last color. This one, I guess I didn't name all my colors. So I started with fuchsia, deep orange, lemon yellow, my bright green, which I mixed myself with 3 parts lemon yellow, 1 part turquoise, and then of course turquoise, and then my purple is called plum. Oh, and we have another new member sign up, Liesel Barrett. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate it, and I'm grateful for all of the support that I receive through this channel. I love the tie-dye community, and I love being able to come on here and share my knowledge and see people from all around the country and the world. And I get messages from people all around the world also. I use Google Translate a lot so that I can answer questions. Oh, and the other thing, I've had people say that I need to put subtitles on in different languages. Well, that is something that I do have that turned on, but if you want subtitles, you need to put your cursor over top of the screen. Sometimes there'll be a CC button that you can click, and I don't know if it works on live videos or not. But you click on the CC to turn on closed captioning, and then right next to that is the gear shape, which is the settings button. You can click on that and then select the language. So anyways, that allows people to watch and be able to understand what I'm saying in other languages. Okay, so we got our rainbow colors on. The next thing I'm going to do is add some blue violet and then put some black over top of that. So the blue violet, I'm not going to come all the way up to the rainbow, but this here is just going to add some extra texturing within my black that I have on here. I don't really like just solid colors. I like textures, so I usually will layer my colors in here, and this is just one way to do it. Just pick a color and put that down first, and then cover it up with black, and then your black will just have a little bit of texture and a little bit of pop in there. And I decided to go with the blue violet because the blue violet bleeds out turquoise, so that should add even more pop in there. The blue violet is what I used to dye over the tapestry last week. So I think I saw that and I decided I wanted to use it again, so that's what we're doing. And then the black, will put it right up to our rainbow here. But this here will put some nice color pop within the black and sometimes give me some patterning that I really like. This here is also the way that you can let the universe have its way with your tapestry, is by layering some colors, or you fold something in half and scrunch it. Then the universe will participate and sometimes bring faces forward, or it'll bring some unique shapes forward. So that's just a fun way to play with some color. Oh, Louise just signed up to be a new member. Thank you, Louise. I am very grateful for your support. Okay, so now I'm going to cover up most of the blue violet, and I'm also going to bring this right up to my line. Actually, I come just a little bit away from it and let the dye kind of spread on its own a little bit. That way it doesn't immediately spread right past my line here. And this here part is just a matter of getting used to applying the dye and how fast you put it on there as to how it's going to flow. And the more that you practice, the more that you can kind of see just how the dye is flowing and spreading through the fabric. As far as it spreading, the liquid really is what you're having the issue with. The liquid is spreading through the fabric. If there's a wet spot and a dry spot, the liquid wants to go towards the dry spot. That's just physics, I guess. So anyways, if part of your liquid is color, the dye, and part of your liquid is clear, the soda ash, and you have too much soda ash in your fabric, then the dye is going to be affected in how it flows. So that's why I like to work on barely damp fabric, because it takes most of that soda ash out of the running there, because only so much liquid can fit in your tapestry. And after that, it's just going to run out, and sometimes that will make it look like your tapestry is fully saturated, but if there is liquid trapped inside there, then that could be white spots just because of the soda ash. So it's preferable to have your tapestry or your t-shirt be barely damp, or a lot of people, they will dye them when they're dry, and that really helps cut out the white spots as long as you saturate them good then. Okay, there is that portion. Oh, we got a super sticker from, let me see here, Paraffin. I think I pronounced that incorrectly. I apologize. Any tips on getting better as a beginner? Yes, that's going to take just the practice. Just sitting down, and I do have a video, a beginner's video on my channel, or beginner playlist, that you can read that or watch those videos, and I do put out some extra tips and tricks in some of those for when you're just getting started. There's one where I do a tie-dye spider design, and it's a long video, but I do a lot of talking and explaining in that one. And then using good dyes, I use Procyon dyes. So that's another key just to improving your color yield, is by having the good dyes on hand. But then after that, it just comes down to practice. You got to practice your folding and getting your folds right. And the only way you're really going to know that is if you fold something and you dye it and you see your results, and then you can kind of look at it and then make some adjustments. And at that point, if you fold something and you're just not getting it right, if you take some pictures, preferably of how it was folded up before you dyed it, and even maybe after you dye it, but then a finished picture of the end result after it's been washed, then you can send that to me through my Facebook page, and I can try to help you figure out what went wrong or what you can do differently. So that's just another option. Okay, so let's get back to doing our coloring here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dye this kind of DNA style just to kind of overlap my rainbow a little bit. So I shifted my bottles down. So last time I started with fuchsia and I went all the way down to plum. This time I moved plum down here, so plum is going to go in the space where my fuchsia is on both sides here, and then of course the fuchsia is going to go where the orange is, and so on. So this here is just me playing in the moment. I decided that's how I wanted to dye this rather than the solid line, so we're just going to go for it and see if I can space my colors out better on this side. And remember, I'm doing them opposite. So I started with purple over on this side here, and now I'm starting with purple on this side here. That's where my fuchsia is. And somebody said we got 113 people watching. That's nice. Good to see everybody come hang out with me on my Wednesday show. This has been a lot of fun. It just kind of, one day I decided to do a live video, and then it turned into a regular weekly show. So, and you guys are a big part of that. You guys being here and wanting to watch me and hang out, that's all the more reason for me to do a live show, is because of the demand for it. And since a lot of us are home right now anyway, then it just adds some extra entertainment for everybody. So thank you guys for helping make this show a success. Okay, I still don't, there's just not really enough room, so I'm going to do my same thing. Let's see. Oh no, I guess I do have room because blue turquoise is my last color over there. So we'll add just a little bit of green in and then finish it out with the turquoise. And this side, I think I didn't go big enough with my colors, so I think I'm going to make this a little bit wider just to catch up a little bit. And I might have to add, no, it'll just be what it is. That's okay. I wasn't paying close enough attention to how wide, and I left too big of a spot here. But it'll be just fine. Okay, now I'm going to just take a little peek inside here. This here's a nice way to just check for your saturation. Just open that up and see if you see any white down there. This here is something you want to do in the thicker areas. Like, I'm not going to peek at this one because that's thin enough. I'm pretty sure that that's got good dye. I had good dye here. And once I get done adding color to the rest of this, then I will go ahead and check these folds just to make sure. But I think we're getting good dye saturation. So with the blue violet, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. I'm going to just color a little bit away from the line here on all of these, and then cover all the rest of it up with black. And I can already see that I got this good turquoise coming out, so hopefully there'll be some of that turquoise left on the inside underneath the black. Alrighty. Okay, another sticker. Really love your videos. Keep them up. Thank you. I appreciate the support, and yes, that is my plan, is to just keep on making these videos. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not getting too much dye in these thinner areas. Sometimes the dye can build up and get kind of sloppy. So just to help avoid that, what I'm going to do is lay this underneath and just soak up some of that excess dye under there. Not so bad in the thicker areas, but the thinner spots, I don't want to take a chance that if I get too much dye, it's going to spread into my rainbow. Oh, Uniquely Yours just donated $20. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Namaste. Okay, let's get back to dyeing here. So I'm going to put my black on right up to my rainbow line, all the way around. So we're getting close. We're going to start doing the auction and then the rest of the Q&A session here. I think this format is working nicely. It makes this dyeing portion run quickly if I'm not trying to answer questions too much during this time frame. So then anybody wanting to go back and watch this video later, they can just sit down and watch the whole video and not have to try to jump around through auctions and questions and stuff. And I appreciate everybody's input when I was looking to change the format a little bit. I had some good input, and I tried to follow that and then just kind of use my own guidance also.
Nothing I did.
And it looks like we got some questions from Julie, so once we get started in that, I'll go ahead and answer some of these questions and then answer some more of your questions out there. But we're getting close to being ready for that. I'm just going to take a quick peek down inside some of these folds. Yeah, this is all looking good. So I got good saturation going on. Okay, so I think I'm going to call this good. I don't want to add too much more dye in there. In fact, I might even soak up just a little bit more of this dye just to make sure. Sometimes that's if my dyes are looking really wet, I will soak up just a little bit of excess, and sometimes that just means laying it on a clean dry towel for just a minute, and that will just help kind of pull any of that excess dye out so that it's not running around later on. I don't always have to do this. Sometimes I finish up and my dye looks, you know, just perfect. But if it looks too sloshy in there, is that a word? Then that's when I'll try to soak up some excess. And if you want, you can even just put the towel over top of the sections and just give it a little squeeze. All right, so we're gonna call that good. I'm gonna batch this for 48 hours, and then we'll, of course, do our rinse out and reveal on Friday. So let's get cleaned up here. Let's get these gloves off. And we'll clean up, and then we'll get into the auction. Okay, I think that's good enough there. Thank you guys for your patience while I do some cleaning here. Have you ever muck dyed anything? Yes. I think the most recent thing that I muck dyed was the big 10 by 12 space tapestry that I did for somebody. It was a custom order. So I muck dyed it. And I do plan on doing some more of that. I haven't done a whole lot of ice dyeing in comparison to how many liquid dyes I've done. But this summer I do plan on playing a lot more with the ice dyes, just because I love how the colors come out. You get a lot of movement within the dyes when you do the ice dyes. And the muck dyes, it just seems to help get you better saturation. So I've done them both ways, and I like both ways. So anyways, so here is my infinity scrunch. You can see the whole tapestry in the album here. Let me post, oh, nope, that's not the right one. I have my launch links. Here we go. So in the launch links, if I can hit it, I just posted it there. Okay, so we already have a $45 bid and then a $50 bid. But you can see the whole tapestry over there in the launch links. Like I say, got really nice color going on here. I love how the turquoise underneath there, but then also the blue violet, it bled out into turquoise colors. So I got a whole combination of that. Remember, I also put a darker turquoise on over top of my folds here, so I got a couple shades of turquoise going on in there. We have a $55 and then a $60 bid from Jewel. So, and then also I like how this here section looks like a brain up here. So that came out really cool. That was from when I kind of scrunched it up and then I tied it really tight. So this here are a couple of my tie lines that you can see in the fold here, but this here, all this scrunch here, is where I scrunched it and then tied it tight and allowed the dye to just go in there and settle out. So $60 bid. Let's see, questions in caps, bring it, Julie says. Okay, well, let me take a quick peek at what questions I have here. What is your #1 tip to a newbie who wants to start selling dyes, beginning a business? I would say posting your pictures out online, whether you do it in your Facebook page or wherever other platforms that you have. I would say start posting your pictures out there of your work, and you might automatically start getting some questions. We have a $70 bid for the tapestry. We now have an $80 bid for the tapestry. So high bid right now is at $80 with Jewel. But yes, just posting your pictures out there is one good way to start. So if you start like a business page on Facebook, then you can post them out there, post your prices. I have Instagram that I also sell off of a little bit. And then in your local town, if they do a farmer's market, that's something you can go get a booth. Usually the farmer's markets are fairly inexpensive, so you can get a booth and set up a rack of your tie-dyes. Some people live on a busy street, and I've seen them set up their tie-dyes in their yard and have people, you know, pull over and buy that way. So there's lots of little ways to do it. On Facebook, there's also a page called Tie-Dye Selling Strategies. And if you go and join that page, then you can look and ask questions about what other people are doing, how they're selling their tie-dyes. We have an $85 bid from Saucy Mare on the MrTieDye. The Infinity Scrunch Hearts Tapestry is what I called it, I guess. And that heart just looks electric. I love how that came out. And you tie that sinew nice and tight and get this white line. That is just fantastic. So yeah, I really love this one. So anyways, we have a $90 bid from Jewel. Looks like Jewel really wants this one. But I appreciate all the bids on this. So let's see, another question. Any tips on cleaning dye hands? There used to be a product called, I think it was Reed Duran from Dharma that was really good, but I haven't really found anything else that worked like that did. Usually a couple days of washing your hands really good, but it will usually wear off. But the best thing to do if you're worried about dye on your hands is to wear gloves. I know that's not the most fun thing to do, but I try to wear them. I don't wear them all the time, obviously, because you can see little bits of dye, but that will keep your hands cleaner, is just wearing gloves when you're doing the actual dyeing portion. And like me, I tie up everything without gloves on because my hands are not sensitive to the soda ash. So I'll tie things up, and then usually I'll wash my hands if I'm not doing a live video, and then let them dry and put gloves on before I start dyeing. Okay, so we still got a $90 bid from Jewel on this. So we'll give this another few minutes, see if anything more comes in. In the meantime, let me just scroll back a little bit, see if there's been any questions that I can answer. And like I say, if you do questions for me in all caps, then I can answer those. Okay, somebody said, what is muck dyeing? Muck dyeing is when you do an ice dye and you put it right in the bottom of your container, and you put your powder dyes on top of your t-shirt, and then you put your ice on, and then when all the ice and the dye melts and goes through, then what the liquid, of course, is colored with the dye, so it's called muck, and that means that your dye, your t-shirt, is sitting in the muck. And if you're going to do a muck dye, you need to trust the muck. You don't mess with it, you just leave it there. It's preferable that you don't even pick it up. So if you can put your muck dye, your ice dye, or that's going to be muck dyed, someplace where you can just leave it sit there until you're ready to wash it. That's the best thing that you can do. Otherwise, if you move it minimally, like I will have mine on my table and I might slide it over, but that's the most that I will move my muck. But if you pick it up where it sloshes around and the dyes haven't fully set up, then they can move around within your t-shirt and stain in other ways. So anyways, yes, when you're doing a muck dye, you just dye right on the bottom of your container. So like if I was gonna, well, I don't have a tub here. Anyways, sometime I will do a muck dye video just to show that. But that's what muck dyeing is. Okay. We got a $100 bid from Jewel for this MrTieDye. Well, that's funny, Petey. I had dye on my hands once, and they were just like an awful color of purple and orange and green. And we went out to eat, and the waitress, didn't have my hands out and obvious when the waitress was there, but she was coming back to check on the table, see how things were going, and I told her, I said, well, I don't know what your food is doing, but it's coloring my hands. And for just like a half a second, she was a little worried, and then she realized from the smirk on my face that I was joking. Let's see. Any tips for my turtle shirt? I'm using sinew, but my color is bleeding some still. The best thing you can do there is to, if you have your little sections that you've dyed up, you put your color on it. If you take a clean, dry rag and wrap it around and just squeeze that color, then you're soaking up the excess so that it can't run. So, but the other thing is applying smaller amounts of dye, and like I say, that's where these bottles with the little fine tips come in handy to be able to put smaller amounts of dye onto your t-shirt. Okay, we're up to $110 from Jewel for the Infinity Scrunch tapestry. So we'll let this run for another couple minutes to see if anybody else wants to place a bid. But otherwise, we're going to close this out soon. And we'll continue on with the questions. Let's see. Love your work. Oh, thank you, Martha. I have a lot of fun with it, and I love sharing it out there, and I love helping other people have success too. That's a lot of fun, and I get a lot of pictures and stories back from people about how I've helped them with this or that, and I appreciate those. They're a lot of fun to read. Have you ever tried to fix an error by bleaching and re-dyeing, i.e. the dog paw tie-dye? As far as trying to bleach out, just like if I have a little bit of dye that runs out in one spot, there's no real way to try to bleach out that one spot and then re-dye it. You're going to end up with a spot that's just a different color. Now, if another thing though is if you have an error and you want to re-dye the t-shirt, you can, but not trying to fix the dog paw, but just trying to fix it in a different way. You could just scrunch the whole t-shirt up, add some bleach to it just to put just a pattern on there, and add more color and add color back in. The color matching, I haven't had any success with that. Granted, I've only tried it, once or twice. Let's see. I might need to plug my thing in. Hold on. Okay, sometimes my phone runs out too quickly. So let's see, it looks like we have a $112 bid for the tapestry. Now we got a $115 bid for the tapestry. Okay, yeah, maybe everybody's was just getting jumpy, but sometimes it's an indication to me that my phone is getting ready to die. So that's why I thought I better just plug it in. But when I have it plugged in, I can't use my mic, so I will make sure just to talk louder and towards the little microphone here. Yes, I can see you there. Okay. Business tips. Yes, like I say, as far as business, it's if you're meaning is selling your t-shirts and tapestries, the best way to start out is just by posting them online. You can also be showing your t-shirts and stuff to your friends and family. Those were some of my very first buyers. And my mom was, when I was home visiting this past weekend, my mom even told me that she still has one of the original t-shirts that I gave her 20 years ago. So anyways, friends and family is a good place. Just in case I didn't say it, Jewel is high bid right now at $115 for the tapestry. I'm going to let it run for another minute. But yeah, business. The other thing is setting up at farmers markets. If you have live on a busy street, you can set up your tie-dyes. Of course, you have to check with your city to make sure that's okay, but most places, if you're in your yard, you can set up your booth and have people stop by there. Although if you live in like a trailer park, it's a little different rules. Like I can't set up my booth or anything here in the trailer park. I can't conduct business. But if it's your own house, then you should be able to set up in your yard. But also the tie-dye selling strategies on Facebook is a good place to look for business tips. Heather just donated a sticker. Thank you so much. My hubby and I love learning from you. Awesome. I'm glad to be of help to you. Like I said, I love to see everybody have success with this art, so that's why I share my knowledge. So let me get back and read a couple more of those. My hubby just bleached a t-shirt. He didn't like it and it fell apart. Oh yeah, if you didn't neutralize the bleach, then yes, the bleach will continue to eat holes, and if you leave it on too long, yes, t-shirts will fall apart. So I do have how to neutralize the bleach. I have, I think, 3 videos that I use bleach with, and each one of those I show you at the beginning how to do the neutralization of the t-shirt. So you can check out the playlists for that to make sure that you're neutralizing your bleach stuff. Oh, you leave my cuticle pusher alone, Saucy. Okay, let me see what else we got going. The shirt is wearing out, but the color is still fine. Oh. Thanks for the. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to be of help. Okay, I think we got the high bid at 115 for Jewel, so I haven't seen any more bids, so I'm going to do my closeout on that. So we have 115 going once. Let me make sure here. I don't see any others. Thank you, Tia. I appreciate all the support, and that's a cute little sticker. Is that? Oh, yep, that's a thumbs up. Thank you, Tia. Any tips on reverse dyeing? On reverse dyeing, the biggest thing is to neutralize when you're done. I'll put my bleach on. Well, I mean, I'll fix my neutralization stuff, have that ready in a bucket. I put my bleach on. As soon as it kind of gets to the color that I want, or I've left it on there for a certain amount of time, I don't leave mine on for longer than maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But then I will go right into rinsing it, and then I put it into the neutralization. You know, I open it up and kind of slosh it around in there, leave that soak for 20 minutes, and then I will rinse that out and then wash it. But I also did recently a heart on a piece of black fabric, and for that I used Colorant, and that's a product you can find from Dharma. My bottle here is bent, but it's a Jacquard product, and it's called Colorant. And like I say, that's available on Dharma. But then I found the same stuff on Amazon. So like I say, it's a Jacquard product, and it's called Colorant. And this here, it has its limitations. You put it on, and it's a thick gel, and then you have to steam it to remove the color. Okay, I forgot I was closing this out. Okay, so 115 going twice. And 115 going 3 times. And sold for 115 to Jewel. Thank you very much and congratulations. And Jewel, I'm not sure if you have won one before, but there's a couple ways you can do it. I posted my launch links in there. With shipping, your total will be 122 with shipping. So you can go into my launch links, go into the donation thing, and just pay directly through my PayPal. Or if you prefer to have an invoice, scroll down to the bottom of the list in the launch links, and you can send me a message through my Facebook or through my store with your email address, and then I will send you an invoice for the tapestry. And then, of course, I will get this signed and have it ready to ship out. So thank you for that. And let's see here. So congratulations. That's a beautiful tapestry. It's one that I knew I was going to auction it, but when I opened it up, it was like, ooh, I need to make me one of these. So, but I wasn't going to keep it, honest. Let's see. Carl, do these stickers go to you or YouTube? Less inclined to buy if they go to YouTube. As far as I know, there's a little bit that goes to YouTube, but the bigger part of it goes to me. But I don't remember what the percentages are. So yeah, I mean the stickers is just a fun way to do it. But if you prefer, you can donate through my PayPal, and that once again PayPal takes a little fee, but it's less than I think what YouTube charges for these stickers. So anyways, thank you for that. Let me see here. Is decolorant easier on fabric than bleach? Yes, because you don't have to neutralize it. The decolorant is something that I'm able to just steam my t-shirt to actually remove the color, and then from there I can just rinse that in cold water, and then I've spun out the excess and I put soda ash on top of it and then just added my dyes in. But the decolorant brings it almost out to white. So if you're doing a black t-shirt, it's really nice to have the colors come almost all the way out. It doesn't work, I guess, the same on every brand of t-shirt, but I've been using the Gildan ones, and I think the other one is Port and Company. And then also the fabric that I bought. They all bleached out, not bleach, but the color came out to almost white, which allowed me to add nice color back in there. And the other thing that I'm going to be trying soon is the RIT color remover. I just haven't had time to do it. That's something that I'm going to be doing outside, but I will make a video of the RIT color remover and see if I can add that in. The bleach is kind of fun, but most of the time it bleaches out to an orangey brown color, and it's hard to add colors back in. Let's see. Oh, cool. Yeah, the coloring, like I say, I've enjoyed it, but like I say, it is a thick gel, so it doesn't penetrate all the way. I usually kind of paint it on and I kind of poke it in and try to open my creases up to get it the fabric all coated. And of course I do have one of my live videos where I did the pink heart on the black fabric. That was done with the decolorant. So yes, have fun with that. And yes, I think the decolorant is much easier on the fabric than bleach. Okay. Let me scroll down and see what else we got going on here.
Can you dye a black shirt?
Yes, you dye a black shirt by removing color in some fashion. That's the whole thing is the black. The color needs to go. You can't color over top of the black. I had somebody ask me about using. There was I think ivory dye from Dharma, and they were wanting to dye a black shirt, but the dyes are transparent. They're not opaque, so they don't go on like a paint. So you have to remove the color, and then you can add the color back in. And like I say, the decolorant works great. I'm going to be testing the RIT dye out, or the RIT color remover out. And some people have had luck with the bleach. I'm just a little bit chicken because I've had holes develop from the bleach from leaving it on too long. So there's a kind of a tricky process of how long to leave it on to get it light enough where you can add color back in. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I trying to scroll down and see my questions, and the thing wants to jump too far. I'm dyeing a white jacket green and black soon. I want to have it the least amount of white as possible. Tips. I was thinking of putting it in a bucket of green dye and then add black after. Yeah, if you tie it up, I would soak it in soda ash to start with, and then you can tie it up in whatever fashion. And yes, you can put it into a bucket and just kind of really get it sloppy wet with the green dye, and then I would pull that out and let it sit and kind of drain out a little bit, and then you could just take and add black dye over top of that, and you would have the green underneath, and then you would have the black patterning over top. Kind of the same way that I added the turquoise in here as a scrunch, and then I put the blue violet over top of that. So then I still have this turquoise underneath here. So that would be the kind of pattern if you scrunch the jacket up, then dyed it green, and then black over top, you would get the same scrunchy type pattern going on. So yes, I like doing those. And yes, if you put it in a bucket and just put a lot of green dye so it's just really sloppy, then you will be done with the white more than likely. Can you spray decolorant for a splatter effect? Yeah, I would imagine you can. I haven't done that yet, but it's thick enough, and whether you need to splatter it or you could like dip a toothbrush in it and just run your finger over it, but you might be able to put it in a bottle a little bit and squirt it, or put your fingers in and just kind of flick it onto the fabric, and you would probably get a splatter effect there. The main thing with the decolorant is it does have to be steamed for the color to come out, or it has to be ironed. Now I didn't have, I'm not going to say I didn't have the best results. I did have results, but sometimes when I was trying to iron, then I was kind of smearing my spots of decolorant, so then I was getting more white where I didn't want it. You might need to splatter this on and maybe let it dry, and then you could steam iron it to remove the color. But yes, you could definitely get a splatter effect with this, because like I say, it's kind of a thick gel, so I think it would splatter nice in big droplets.
I saw one last year at Halloween time, and it was fabulous.
Julie says she saw one at Halloween time and it was fabulous. Somebody had done a splatter. I think it was at a bleach one maybe, where it was the black and orange.
I couldn't tell,
Okay.
but yes, it was very cool.
Did you say it smells eggy? I don't know if it's eggy, but it does have
Rotten
a
eggs.
yeah, kind of almost like a rotten egg smell to it. I mean, it's not real strong. I usually will work with my window open or go outside and use it. It's not too horribly bad. And then of course I have my steamer, my vegetable steamer that sits outside, because that might put more smell in the room that I don't want. You might end up with just okay. I just got some of the decolorant, plan on playing with it next weekend. Awesome, have fun with that. I gotta go. See you, Ara. Nice to see you. And well, Jewel, now you've lost me. Haha. Okay. Is it hard to do jeans? The hardest part is just because the fabric is thicker. I usually don't try to get too fancy. I usually stick with either a pleat, a spiral, or a scrunch on my jeans. And then the main thing with the fabric being thicker is you need to just kind of open up all your little pleats and stuff and check for dye saturation. So it's usually best for jeans if you tie them up while they're damp and then let them dry, and then lightly spray them with soda ash water and then dye, and that kind of helps let the dye soak in better into the dry fabric. See, what do you mean it needs to be steamed to use the decolorant? How do you do that? The decolorant needs heat, and like I say, you can iron it. I did a little bit of ironing, but when I was tying something up and then dyeing it, it was just, I found it was easier to steam it. But the heat, the moist heat, is what removes the color. And I did do a heart on a piece of black fabric as a live video, and I'm going right now to find that so that I can show you that. But I have a vegetable steamer, which is what I use to do my steaming with. So here is the video, putting the link in. There is the link to the video with the pink heart on the black fabric. That is one that I tied it up, and then I brought my steamer in so that you could see. I put that in the basket and I steamed it for 45 minutes. And then after that, I was able to rinse the heart and then add soda ash to it and then add my dye to it. So I didn't have to do a washer or anything like that. I just did one process after the next, but I did rinse the colorant out. Somebody said Tia just did an experiment with Brit and it worked out nicely. Not completely white or anything, but got pretty light. I put about a gallon of water as hot as my tap runs, then added 1 pot of boiling water and RIT. Cool, yes. So yeah, the RIT is my next experiment here. I've been wanting to get to this for a while, but yeah, the RIT color remover. So I'll probably be doing something similar to that and just trying that out, but I will make a video so you guys can see my results of how that comes out. Okay, I think we're going to be wrapping this up soon, so if you guys have any more questions, you can go ahead and ask them, but I'm trying to, and if you put all caps in, that makes it easier for me to find the questions. But I'll scroll down here and see what else I got. Looks like we still have 126 people watching. So excited for this hippie Christmas? Yes, me too. I've been having a lot of fun making these videos of these tapestries because I love dyeing tapestries. And that will be the other thing when I start doing some of my own projects. A lot of it is going to be some of my other tapestry ideas that have come to me through my meditations, but they're a little too complex to try to do on here, but I still want to create them. So some of them I might do a video for, but there's others that I might just sit down in the moment and tie things up. So there will be more tapestries to come, and that's the other thing. I do have more of my tapestries that I have for sale in my launch links. So if anybody is wanting just to look at some of my other tapestries, oops. Well, if I can get this link here. Okay. Yeah, so I do have an album over on my MrTieDye page, but you can find a link to it in my launch links for my other tapestries, but that's where the other tapestries will be going. Somebody asked, how long have you been dyeing? I've been doing tie-dye for 20 years now. So I started doing it when we were opening a store, a book and gift store. We had some handmade gifts and we wanted to add more to it, and the tie-dye seemed to be the thing. Karen had done tie-dye before, so she showed me some little tips of how to do it, and we spent a week making up tie-dyes for our store, and I just loved it. I fell in love from that point, and I haven't stopped in 20 years. Rick Color Remover smells like a hair salon, so do it outside. Yep, that was my plan. I got one of those little heating pans, or not, it's not a hot plate, but it allows me to heat stuff outside, so I was going to do mine outside. That's okay, Saucy. Get your laundry done. I know it's late at night for you. I got a latte and milk frother to mix dyes today. It worked so well. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard people use different things. I haven't heard about the latte and milk frother, but yeah, whatever works to blend your stuff up. I use one of these hand mixers myself, and this is a Cuisinart, and that's what I like to mix my dyes with. But yeah, whatever works for you. I've also heard people putting a mixer attachment on their electric drill, their cordless drill, and using that to mix with. So lots of possibilities. Do you know if you can tie-dye unbleached cotton? Yes. Yeah, it does not have to be bleached. Doesn't have to be white. I have several pairs of pants that I've dyed for myself that started out that were a light tan. As long as it's a light color, you can add a darker color over top of it. But if you have like light colored blue jeans and you add yellow to it, the yellow is just going to have a slight green tinge to it, but you'll still be able to see the yellow. But as long as it's a light tan or an off-white, it's going to, I don't think that color is going to affect your dyes in any way. So yes, unbleached cotton will work perfect. But the main thing though with the fabric, it's really good idea to do a pre-wash in hot water with a little bit of Synthropol or the Blue Dawn dish soap, just to remove any of the greases, the oils from your skins, or anything that might have been added by the factory for stain resist, because that can interfere with the dyeing process. Okay. Oh, thank you, Dragon Tears of Love, for answering that question. I always appreciate when other people help out with answering questions. Oh, you're welcome, Saucy. You have a good night. Sleep well. Let's see. You're welcome, Marissa. Like I said, I have a lot of fun. I always look forward to these Wednesdays. Okay, I think I'm going to close this up soon. I don't see any more. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Namaste to you. Like I say, I just love doing these and coming on, helping everybody. We got 133 people watching right now. So thank you guys for joining me for another Wednesday with MrTieDye. Like I said, I'm going to batch this tapestry for 48 hours, and then I'll do my washout and reveal video on Friday. And then, like I say, I have a few more custom orders I'm finishing up, and then I'm going to be diving into doing more videos for you guys. So look forward to those. And oh yes, and congratulations to Jewel. Yes, that's right. Congratulations to Jewel on winning the tapestry from last week. And I think that's it. You guys have a great week, and peace, love, light, and laughter to all. You guys you're my favorite. I just love my tie-dye crowd, and I will see you guys all again next week. You have a good weekend. Oh yes, lots of wishes out there. Bye. See ya. Thank you.